Coming up on Lindenwood News, several people are facing charges in connection to an organized crime ring. Find out what they are officially being charged with. Plus, an Alaska man's last wishes to his family was to be buried here in Missouri. What his family is doing is to make sure this happens. And the biggest game in football was last weekend. So, who won? And we will tell you about the memorable halftime show. Those stories and more ahead on Lindenwood News. Welcome to this edition of Lindenwood News. I'm Parker Kilen. A fire broke out in Northwoods Plaza, damaging businesses on Sunday night. Fire crews say a fire was reported in North Oaks Plaza at Natural Bridge Road. The firefighters were sent out around 5 in the afternoon. The fire damaging 4 different stores, and customers were forced to evacuate. A worker at one of the stores says she thinks the fire was started in the ceiling. No one was hurt. The family of a man who spent 3 decades living in Alaska is raising money so that he can be buried back in Missouri. 63-year-old Jerry Leon Cook was born and raised in Springfield, Missouri, and died in his early 60s, leaving behind 7 children and his girlfriend as he passed away from a seizure. Despite the grief, the family feels like they are supported both publicly and privately. A suspect is facing charges in connection to an organized crime ring for about $2.6 million in theft and damages. A 25-year-old Cody Lasky is facing 16 felonies, including stealing, firearm, and drug crimes. Lasky has not entered a plea yet. He is being held without bond. A second person was also charged with the crime, but has not been named. An official court date has yet to be set. Germania Brew House opens its 5th location this week in Clayton. The new coffee shop is Germania's first location in Missouri. The company opened 4 other shops in the Metro East's Riverbend area around Alton. Germania's Clayton location is open Monday through Saturday from 7 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. They are closed on Sundays. Its menu includes coffees, teas, and other drinks, as well as baked goods, sandwiches, and wraps. The coffee chain started in Alton, Illinois in 2017. Beer has been a long part of the Super Bowl, but there has been a rise in non-alcoholic beer. As of Super Bowl Sunday, the U.S. sales of non-alcoholic beer has risen 26% over the past year, while traditional alcohol sales have fell for the first time in 3 years. Recent research says non-alcoholic beer is becoming a popular alternative to real beer. Straight ahead on Lindenwood News, the Urban League is hosting an event that will help thousands. We will tell you when and where you can attend. The Urban League of St. Louis is helping feed thousands of people this weekend. The Urban League is hosting a food giveaway Saturday at its headquarters in North City. Organizers collected enough items for 1,800 boxes filled with food and toiletries. This is just one of several giveaways the Urban League hosts throughout the year. Every year, they partner with organizations like the St. Louis Area Food Bank and MLK Celebration Commission. Vice President J.D. Vance is stepping onto for the first time among the Trump administration this week. He is stepping out using a high-profile artificial intelligence summit in Paris. Vance is also gathering national security leaders in Germany to showcase President Trump's more assertive approach to diplomacy. The vice president is expected to push back on European efforts to tighten AI oversight while advocating for a more open, innovative, driven approach. The Norwegian Refugees Council's global humanitarian operations are being forced to suspend essential aid for more than 100,000 people. The NRC announced suspension of humanitarian work for several people in countries affected by tragedies. The consequences include halted distribution of emergency support, people unable to access vital goods, and worldwide aid worker layoffs. NRC recognizes the U.S. administration's authority for foreign assistance reviews, but further steps must be done to avoid disruption to ongoing humanitarian assistance. Be careful if you're heading out onto the roads this week, as the city is warning that neighborhood streets will not be plowed. The city is explaining their plan to plow the roads after heavy criticism during the last snowstorm. They say not to park on snow routes. Everyone is responsible for shoveling their own sidewalks, and if you live on a hill, please check with the city on where to park. Trash collection will not be impacted by the incoming storm.
It's about to get really chilly in our area, so we'll see more snow come through with these low temperatures. And how low will it get? Welcome to weather. Starting with our national map, we have a cold front pushing down from Minnesota and Wisconsin that will be bringing cold temperatures, torrential rains, and high winds to Missouri on Wednesday and into the weekend. Then we have two stationary fronts to talk about this week. The first one is in the Pac West and the other is in Colorado, New Mexico, and Texas. This means these states will be getting lots of rain that is just going to sit on top of the area for long periods of time. Now into our local map. Wednesday, we can expect to see lots of low temperatures in the 30s as we wait for potential snowfall. St. Charles and St. Louis and Maryland Heights are feeling chilly in the low 30s today. Moving on to O'Fallon and St. Peters, those areas are also expected to see a bit of snow on Wednesday. Folks in that area are expected to see low 30s there as well. Now into our 5-day forecast. You're going to need to grab your coat on the way out the door. It's going to be a brisk week. We spend most of our week in the 30s with our lows hovering in the teens. That's all for weather. Let's take a look at what's ahead for sports.
The women's basketball team has taken down their past 6 opponents. Were they able to keep the streak alive? Welcome to sports. This week, Lindenwood's women's teams dominated collegiate sports. Let's begin with women's basketball. They defeated Tennessee State University on Saturday. This continues their 7-game win streak. Coach Amy Egan says this win was an all-out team effort. The Lions were down 8 points in the third quarter. In the fourth, they went on a 23-7 run to take over the Tigers. There were many lead-in Lions throughout this game. Brooke Coffey and Maya Scoff both scored 18 points. Gracie Wernley had 17 points in just 19 minutes played. The Lions are back at it tomorrow at Morehead State University. Tip-off is scheduled for 5 p.m. Moving on to Lindenwood women's softball. They split their season opener. The team played 4 games in 2 days in Memphis. The Lions split both doubleheaders last weekend. They took down Hampton University 2-1 and Rush College 21-1. Memphis University took down the Lions on Friday and Saturday night. The Lions have a lot of new faces on this year's roster. They added 6 freshmen and 3 transfers to their team. We will see how these new faces contribute to the Lions' success this season. And lacrosse wins their season opener. The final score against Youngstown State was 14-13. This win marks Coach Jack Cribbin's 200th win of his career. The Lions were down 8-3 in the second frame. However, the Lions battled all the way back to make the score 13-13. This game needed overtime. After an all-out brawl, Riley Cavana assisted Alyssa DiGiasanto to score the winning goal. Lucy Solander had 6 goals and 3 assists. Ainsley Sweeney had 11 saves for the Lions as well. That's all for sports. Back to you, Parker.
Rapper Kendrick Lamar was a part of the Super Bowl halftime show. He was joined by SZA and DJ Mustard for some of the songs. However, he also featured Samuel L. Jackson dressed like Uncle Sam, showing up between songs with his commentary to keep things moving. Lamar just won 5 Grammys. The Philadelphia Eagles won 40-22 against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's it for this edition of Lindenwood News. I'm Parker Kilen. Thanks for joining us.